who once carried the title of a murderer, unexpectedly found myself in another world, inhabiting the body of a prestigious young lady rejected by her entire powerful family. The moment I awoke in this new body, a drama was already set to unfold. The real heiress was being accused of intentionally pushing the fake heiress down the stairs. The middle-aged man before me, with cold eyes, my nominal father, Mr. Song, gritted his teeth and cursed, "I can't believe I have such a venomous daughter." Beside him, the woman who was my mother in this body, Mrs. Song, her eyes red-rimmed with worry for the girl who shared no blood with her, turned to me and shrieked in choked indignation. "If anything happens to her, get out of this place immediately, out of my sight." I slowly rotated my wrist, the familiar sensation at my fingertips bringing absolute calm. Then, in a flash, I seized the fake heiress's hair, Song Zi's hair, slamming her head forcefully against the wall behind us without a shred of mercy. She won't survive this one, will she? Before my soul was dragged into a strange world, I was leisurely wiping away the last traces of blood from my knuckles. On the colossal LED screen in the shopping mall, a special news report played on repeat. Urgent manhunt for Song Yujie, female, 24 years old. In 10 days, she has carried out 8 attacks. All victims are males with prior convictions for sexual assault. I curled my lips in amusement. Only 8? It seems 2 are still missing. Just as I put on my mask, preparing to leave my hiding place, a sudden dizziness overcame me. My body swayed, my vision blurred, and an emotionless voice echoed in my head. "Successfully connected to host. Data transfer in progress." I had no time to react further. Everything dissolved into nothingness. When I opened my eyes again, a memory fragment that wasn't mine was forcibly injected into my brain. In front of the mirror, an unfamiliar yet beautiful face reflected my bewildered gaze. I quickly realized my soul had fallen into the body of a young girl with the same name, Song Yujie. The mechanical voice spoke again. "Host, please complete the mission within 1 month. Take revenge on behalf of the original owner and reclaim the life that rightfully belongs to her." I coldly asked, "Am I allowed to kill people?" "No." "Then I refuse." The system's voice immediately changed, adding, "If the mission is completed, all violated memories of the victims in the old world will be erased. As for those who caused them pain, the system will deal with them thoroughly." I raised an eyebrow. "Sounds reasonable. All right, I'll do it." As for the original Song Yujie, her life was more tragic than the most melodramatic novels. Right after birth, the family's nanny secretly swapped her with her own daughter. The girl who was swapped lived in luxury, while Song Yujie was sold to a remote mountain village, working like an ox all day, then secretly studying by moonlight at night. If discovered, she was beaten within an inch of her life. It wasn't until she was 15 that the truth was exposed, and the Song family found her and brought her home. But returning didn't mean happiness. The Song family valued only their interests. The adopted daughter, Song Zi, already accustomed to wealth, remained pampered, while their biological daughter, with her rustic appearance, was cast aside as if she didn't exist. Song Yujie was constantly slandered by Song Zi, and her parents always believed every word. No matter how hard she tried, she couldn't sway their trust. Desperate, hurt, and severely depressed, she chose to end it all with a bottle of sleeping pills. And that was when I took her place. How ironic. Death solves nothing, it only makes one weaker in the face of evil forces. I stood up, picked up the bottle of pills with 2 fingers, and without hesitation, tossed it into the trash. Just then, the door burst open. The person who entered was a girl with a delicate face that immediately reminded me of the fierce expression in the memory fragment I'd just received. It was none other than Song Zi, the one who had lived in my place for 17 years. She held her head high, shoving an old lipstick into my hand with an arrogant tone. "Mom and Dad said you should still write my name on your exam this time. Consider this your reward." Song Yujie had once been exceptionally bright, intelligent, and diligent, overcoming every hardship to study. After returning to the Song family, her academic performance became even more outstanding. Meanwhile, Song Zi was only good at talking, with a fake heiress demeanor and lackluster grades. The day Song Yujie ranked first in the entire school, she thought she would finally gain her parents' recognition. But before she could even bring her report card home, Song Zi burst into tears, throwing a tantrum, claiming she couldn't bear the feeling of being inferior. As a result, her parents embraced Song Zi tightly, harshly scolding Song Yuzhai. You deliberately showed off just to upset your sister, didn't you? From then on, her report cards were forced to bear Song Zi's name to build an image of a perfect heiress. Song Yuzhai resisted in vain, gradually succumbing to her fate. I silently opened the lipstick. The smudged color and greasy sheen were nauseating. Song Zi sneered, "It's fine to use old things sometimes, don't you think, sis? Don't be so picky." Without waiting for her to finish, I shoved the entire lipstick into her mouth. "Shut up, you're disgusting." A forceful shove dislodged her left front tooth. Red blood smeared. She stared at me, eyes wide in disbelief at what had just happened. "Song Yuzhai, you be *TCH. I slowly inhaled the scent of blood in the air, a thrill running through me. Bending down, I pressed her head to the floor, coldly rubbing her face against the tiles. "Helping you gargle to clean up." Then I stood, skirted past her as she sat trembling on the floor, and casually walked away. Her furious scream echoed behind me as I slammed the door shut. Silence, much more pleasant. Song Yuzhai possessed a striking height of 1.7 meters but weighed a mere 45 kilograms. Her skin was pale from severe malnutrition. I rummaged through the refrigerator, eating whatever I could find. This body was so starved my stomach felt glued to my back. To live like this was a tragedy, but who was to blame but oneself? If the environment isn't favorable, instead of lamenting one's fate, change it. Only the weak beg for pity. I am now Song Yuzhai, and for everything she endured, I will make others pay back 100-fold. As I stepped out of the kitchen, I saw Song Zi limping down the stairs. The moment she saw me, she immediately stumbled and fell onto the floor, emitting a dramatic wail. The door opened, and Mr. and Mrs. Song walked in, witnessing her perfect act. Mrs. Song shrieked, rushing to embrace Song Zi. "Zi, what happened to you?" Mr. Song also anxiously asked. "Darling, are you hurt?" Song Zi looked up, sobbing. "I just wanted to get closer to my sister, to give her my favorite lipstick. I never thought she'd slap me and push me down the stairs. Maybe she thinks I'm not worthy because I'm not her biological daughter." Mrs. Song turned to me, her voice trembling. "Song Yuzhai, your sister has put up with enough from you. What more do you want?" I crossed my arms, responding indifferently. "I did slap her, but I didn't push her. She's just putting on an act. I've never denied what I've done, but I won't take the blame for others." Mr. Song furiously roared, "I truly regret having a daughter like you." Song Zi, at this moment, hugged her parents' arms, tears streaming down her face. "It's okay, she didn't hit me that hard. At least I'm still alive." "Oh, still alive, are you?" I gave a cold laugh, rotated my wrist, and in a flash, grabbed her hair and slammed her head hard against the wall. Now she probably won't survive. Blood flowed freely as Song Zi collapsed, unconscious. Both parents were stunned. After a few seconds, Mr. Song regained his senses and lunged at me, intending to strike. I brushed his hand away, a faint smile on my face. "If you have any sense left, you should take your beloved daughter to the emergency room before her brain turns to tofu." Finally, the ambulance arrived in time to take Song Zi to the hospital. Although her life was saved, a permanent scar was etched onto her forehead. For someone like Song Zi, who lived and died for her beauty, it was nothing short of a devastating blow to her self-esteem. The Song family always prioritized their reputation, so they dared not make a fuss. They announced to outsiders that Song Zi had slipped and fallen down the stairs, but Song Zi herself couldn't easily swallow this narrative. The day I returned to school, a group of gaudily made-up rich girls were waiting for me in the restroom to welcome me. A girl with vibrantly dyed purple hair, the ringleader, snuffed out the cigarette in her hand and glared. "Song Yuzhai, how many times have I told you, don't mess with Song Zi anymore? Why are you so stubborn?" With that, she grabbed a huge mop, intending to strike my head. In a blink, I snatched the mop, wasted no time, immediately grabbed her by the collar and shoved her head into the toilet bowl. A piercing scream erupted as she thrashed in panic. I curled my lip in disdain, tied my hair up neatly, shifted my stance from hands to feet, then stomped squarely on the back of her neck. Crash! The impact sent her head smashing against the porcelain, instantly silencing her, leaving only weak, whimpering pleas. I held her neck firmly, while reaching into her jacket pocket, pulling out a cigarette and a lighter, slowly saying, "You're in school, you should be focusing on your studies. Why are you playing with cigarettes?" Letting go, I lit a cigarette and put it to my lips. The rest of them froze in place, faces pale, noses covered, eyes wide with terror. Just minutes before, they were aggressive. Now, no one dared take another step. One of them mumbled, "Song Yuzhai, are you possessed?" I smirked, blowing smoke into their faces. According to the remaining memories of this body, this group wasn't causing trouble for the first time. Every time, they used the excuse of protecting Song Zi, dragging this weak girl into the restroom, then cursing and beating her for their amusement. Song Yuzhai initially fought back, but was gradually worn down to resignation. These people had long been accustomed to treating her like a living punching bag, never imagining she would one day fight back. But now it was different. When they looked at me, their eyes held nothing but fear. I didn't care, washed my hands thoroughly, and casually left the restroom without a backward glance. Although Song Zi's injuries looked ghastly, a few days of treatment would be enough. The day she returned to class, she still wore that pitiful expression, her forehead bandaged, crying while recounting her story to her classmates. The moment I walked through the door, she instantly froze, her instinct making her take a step back. A deep, icy male voice cut through the air. Song Yuzhai. I looked up, the eyes before me as cold as ice. A sudden pang of pain shot through my chest, a physiological reaction from an unknown source. I reached up, clutching my chest, both surprised and curious as I assessed the person opposite me. After a quick comparison of his face with the remaining memory fragment, I understood immediately. Lu Huai, Song Yuzhai's nominal fiancé. A one-sided affection. The original owner was foolishly infatuated with him, while he blindly followed Song Zi, hurting Song Yuzhai no less than her biological parents. Song Yuzhai, he repeated, frowning, return the 3,000 yuan class fund you embezzled. I sneered. Who told you that? Let me guess, Song Zi. I glanced around. The eyes of everyone in the class were filled with judgment and disdain, no one doubting the accusation. The homeroom teacher stood to one side, expressionless, her gaze seemingly glued to her books, her attitude clearly stating she was uninvolved. It wasn't hard to guess this was a habit. Every time Song Yuzhai was slandered, things always unfolded this way. Lu Huai frowned, his tone harsh. No need to check the cameras, Z never lies, and it's not the first time you've pulled such dirty tricks. I advise you to be reasonable and return the money. Out of respect for your parents, I might still let it go. With that, he reached out, intending to search me. I raised an eyebrow, a faint smile on my lips. A second later, I twisted his arm and threw him directly to the floor. Young Master Lu, I stated calmly, though our families have an engagement in front of all these people, are you trying to assault me? Lu Hui's face flushed crimson, and he struggled. What nonsense are you talking about? I have no interest in you, I just want to find the missing money. I looked down at the flimsy spaghetti-strap dress I was wearing, then deliberately puffed out my chest. Every gaze instinctively darted to that spot. Lu Huai looked like he was about to burst into flames, screaming, Song Yuzhai, do you have no shame? I pretended to cover my chest, my eyes sparkling. You don't need evidence, you don't check cameras, you just hear Song Zi say I took the money, and then you want to search me? Isn't that forced harassment? Sister. Song Zi walked over from the corner, her voice trembling. I saw it with my own eyes, I wouldn't lie to you, sis. Just return the money and I won't make a big deal out of it. I looked at her, filled with utter disgust. Then suddenly, I swung my hand and slapped her with the force of a thunderclap. The crisp sound echoed, silencing the entire class. Song Zi clutched her cheek, her eyes red-rimmed with shock and indignation. Lu Huai rushed to support her, then turned and roared at me, Song Yuzhai, are you insane? I calmly pulled out a tissue to wipe my hand, not bothering to reply. My icy gaze swept over the two of them. One was fake, always pretending to be weak to gain sympathy. The other was an empty-headed fool who only knew how to follow others. I repeated his earlier words. 3,000 yuan. I stepped forward, grabbed Song Zi by the collar, and stared intently into her face. You, a nanny's daughter, can wear designer clothes worth hundreds of thousands, while I, the biological daughter of the Song family, have to steal 3,000 yuan? Song Zi choked, her face turning ashen, unsure whether to retort or flee. The Song family, wishing to maintain their reputation and image, had never publicly revealed the truth about my and Song Zi's real identities. Outside, rumors spread that we were twin sisters, born of the same parents, the only difference being that Song Zi was pampered like a princess from childhood. As for me, I was sent to the countryside for training and only brought back to the Song household when I was mature. The biased views of father and mother Song further led everyone to believe that Song Zi was the noble, beloved daughter, while I was merely a parasite who had been lost and then returned. As expected, After I uttered those loaded words, the entire class immediately erupted in whispers. Does she mean Songzi isn't the Song family's biological daughter? Could Songzi just be the nanny's child, and Song Yuzhai is the real daughter of the Song family? That actually makes sense. Why would a genuine rich heiress need to steal 3,000 yuan? Meanwhile, Songzi is wearing a full Chanel outfit, which must be at least 200,000 yuan. Songzi was so enraged her chest heaved, and she shrieked, her eyes red-rimmed. Song Yuzhai, don't make things up. We're biological twin sisters, how can you slander me like this? I subtly curved my lips, looking directly at her. Oh, really? Same father, same mother. Then why do you wear clothes worth millions, while I'm accused of stealing 3,000 yuan? Songzi immediately darted her eyes, searching for an excuse. It's because your grades are bad while I always rank first in our grade. And sis, aren't my things your things too? We are one, how can you be so calculating? I couldn't help but laugh. It was truly ridiculous brazenly stealing someone else's possessions, then acting noble as if bestowing charity. Truly, her shamelessness knew no bounds, yet her words made the crowd nod in understanding. Because everyone knew that Song Yuzhai always ranked first in school, but the name on the report card was Songzi. The Song family favored the one with achievements, regardless of whether she was their biological child. I wasn't in a hurry to expose anything. I simply curled my lips in a cold smirk. Is that so, little sister? I leaned in close to Songzi, my hand gently slipping a bank card from her pocket. 3,000 is for children only. I turned to face the homeroom teacher, who had been watching the drama unfold from the front of the class. This card must have several million on it. I'd like to donate all of it to the school. And 300,000 within it can be considered a contribution to the class fund. You can use it however you see fit. Without waiting for a response, I placed the card directly into her hand. The homeroom teacher, a person who valued status and gain, saw the money and her eyes lit up. Previously, she sided with Songzi, thinking she was more favored by the Song family. Now, seeing a mountain of money in her hand, she no longer bothered to maintain her composure and hastily stuffed the card into her pocket. On the other side, Songzi went wild, lunging forward. What are you doing? That's my card. I covered my mouth in feigned surprise, acting innocent. Oh, didn't you say we were one? You're my sister, your things are my things. Isn't this card mine too? Songzi trembled with rage, her lips pressed tightly, her eyes following the card as if she had just lost the entire world. That card represented her entire fortune. Every month, the Song family transferred 500,000 yuan to her, plus holiday red envelopes and miscellaneous expenses, totaling at least tens of millions. Meanwhile, my account when I transmigrated only had 500 yuan. The reason the Song family gave was truly ridiculous. They couldn't let the girl who just came from the mountains be blinded by materialism, so they only gave me 1,000 yuan allowance each month. The original owner, innocent and naive, cared little for material things, only desiring her parents' love, but in the end received nothing but cold indifference and despair. At this moment, Lu Huai, my fiancé in name only, frowned and spoke, his eyes glinting with anger. Song Yuzhai, by what right do you take Zi's money and use it for these hypocritical acts? Return the card immediately. I raised an eyebrow, a mocking smile playing on my lips. Who are you to order me around? Then I moved closer to him, whispering a sentence that was enough to turn his face chalk white. You can't not know who Song Zi really is, can you? Outsiders think she's the biological daughter, but if I were to leak the news that she's the nanny's child, would the Lu family still keep her? Lu Huai froze, his entire body stiff. The Lu and Song families had been connected since their grandfather's generation. The two old men, while alive, had arranged an engagement between the two families. After Grandfather Song passed away, Grandfather Lu became even more determined to uphold his promise, forcing his descendants to honor the old agreement. Before I returned, the one destined to be Lu Hui's wife was Song Zi. But after my appearance, Grandfather Lu changed his mind, insisting that I be the bride instead. Lu Huai was unwilling. He regarded Song Zi as his only love from childhood, not even caring that she wasn't of the Song family's bloodline. In his eyes, I was merely a spoiler of their romance, and Song Zi continually whispered venom into his ear, speaking ill of me without end. As for the original Song Yuzhai, in a mere 2 years, she had loved him to her very bones, but that affection ultimately brought her nothing but pain. Witnessing the scene unfolding, the homeroom teacher acted swiftly, as if afraid I might change my mind midway. She immediately clutched the bank card tightly, didn't bother to ask another question, and hastily left the classroom. Before disappearing, she turned back and left a sentence echoing throughout the room. The Song family has made immense contributions to our school. I will make sure the entire school is aware of this matter. Immediately, the atmosphere in the classroom changed. The surrounding gazes converged on me and Song Z. Looks complex, no longer filled with disdain as before. Song Z's face was pale with indignation, but she still tried to maintain a gentle, magnanimous facade. As she passed me, she whispered close to my ear, "Just you wait and see." I subtly closed my eyes, a faint smile playing on my lips, feeling immense amusement. It had been a long time since anyone dared to say that to me. "All right, I'll wait. My dear sister, I hope you don't disappoint me." That evening, I returned home. The moment I opened the door and stepped in, a heavy metal object flew straight towards my face and ashtray. I dodged, simultaneously catching it, then without hesitation, threw it back. Crash! The sound of shattering echoed as the glass table in the living room was smashed into pieces. "You're so skilled." Mr. Song sprang to his feet, roaring furiously. "You dare defy me, dare to fight back?" I calmly closed the door. Or should I just stand still and take an ashtray to the face? "That's enough." Mrs. Song frowned, her eyes blazing with anger. "I heard you bullied Z at school again and even took her bank card to donate it, didn't you?" I shrugged, my expression serene. "I only did it for the Song family's reputation. Is doing good deeds wrong? Who spends whose money?" Mr. Song slammed his hand on the table angrily. "If you want to donate, use your own money." That statement instantly silenced the entire room. I burst out laughing, my voice laced with sarcasm. "You mean the 1,000 yuan allowance you two bestow upon me each month?" Mr. and Mrs. Song exchanged glances, their eyes somewhat evasive. "You shouldn't use Z's money like that." My mother immediately found an excuse. "We don't give you much money because we don't want you to fall into a lavish lifestyle and go astray. It's for your own good." I shook my head in exasperation, my ears buzzing with their convoluted, meaningless arguments. I almost couldn't control myself and do something extreme. But then, thinking of the mission the system had given me, along with the attractive conditions that came with it, I temporarily swallowed my anger. Mr. Song stomped towards me, pointing and scolding. "From the moment you appeared, you've ruined everything. My and your mother's affection for Z. Even her engagement was stolen by you. Z has always been patient while you keep stirring up trouble time and again." Mrs. Song crossed her arms, her voice as sharp as a knife. "Tomorrow is the final exam. Remember to write Z's name, as always, and do well. I'll pretend today's incident never happened." I gave a faint smile. "Sorry, not this time." Both of them immediately flared up as if I'd hit a nerve. "Song Yuzhai, don't be so selfish. Z is your sister, after all. Don't you care about the Song family's reputation?" Reputation? I curled my lips. Everything good belonged to Song Z, while I was always the shadow, the bearer of failure, inferiority, and humiliation. This family only needed a talented daughter to enhance their prestige. The other one could be anything. How ridiculous. I looked at them with an indifferent gaze. "I want to study. If it's not urgent, don't disturb me. Otherwise, I'll reveal Song Z's entire background to the world." With that, I turned and went upstairs, leaving their frantic curses echoing from the floor below. "Song Z, tomorrow will be the final exam and also the beginning of your irreversible downfall. Just wait." The next day, the exam was held as usual. I received the test paper and calmly wrote my name, Song Yuzhai. The original owner's memory was very clear, so the questions posed no difficulty for me whatsoever. The answers I rechecked afterward also indicated I would rank first in the entire grade. However, when the results were posted, I didn't see my name at the top. First place, Song Z. I frowned, stepping closer, only to find my name near the bottom of the list. 590th place, Song Yuzhai. I heard Song Z came first again this time, almost 10 points higher than the second person. So smart, pretty and super intelligent, no wonder everyone at school loves her. As for Song Yuzhai, she's terrible at studying and always stirring up trouble. She's really something else. Song Z emerged from the praising crowd, her face adorned with a polite, benevolent smile. As she passed me, her eyes glinted with mockery, as if saying, "Even if you take the exam and write your own name, the final result will still be mine." She even patted my shoulder, her voice sweet yet filled with sarcasm. "Everyone, don't blame my sister anymore. Not everyone succeeds just by trying hard. Some things you can't get just by wanting them. These hypocritical words only made the crowd admire her more. Z is so kind. The 3,000 yuan incident last time was definitely Song Yuzhe's doing, and she's pretending to be good. How shameless. I chuckled softly. With the Song family's power and finances, manipulating test scores was no difficult feat. I turned to look at her, smiling intimately. Little sister, there's a math problem I don't quite understand. Could you help me solve it tonight? Song Z maintained her gentle smile. It's a small matter, sis. Let's talk about it when we get home tonight. In Song Z's eyes, arrogance gleamed, as if telling me that no matter how much I struggled, the final victory would still be hers. I didn't bother to care about her attitude, simply continuing calmly. I just wanted to ask about the fill-in-the-blank math problem. Why did you put sine equals 1 as the answer? And in the chemistry problem, why was the final answer calcium? Song Z gently smoothed her long hair, maintaining her calm demeanor. The sine equals 1 problem, I did it in just a few minutes, but it might be a bit hard for you to understand. Tonight, when we get home, I'll explain it more thoroughly. As for the chemistry problem, it's simple. It's probably just because I've practiced more. She offered a gentle smile, as if bestowing kindness, but the surroundings were utterly silent. Not a single clap or word of praise echoed as she had imagined. Suddenly, the student who held second place in the grade spoke from a corner of the classroom, his voice filled with doubt. Song Z, are you sure the answer to that math fill-in-the-blank question is sine equals 1? Song Z paused slightly, her eyes quickly scanning the results board. Seeing her perfect score in math, she confidently replied, Of course, I'm absolutely sure I got it right. The air instantly fell silent. I was in no hurry, merely smiling faintly before replying, Little sister, that question indeed equals 1, but it was cos b equals 1, not sine. The entire problem didn't mention sine at all. Immediately, her face turned as white as a sheet of paper. I didn't stop there, did I? And for the chemistry problem, the answer was ferric oxide. Since you're so smart, you must understand what ferric oxide is, right? Song Z clenched her fists, her body trembling slightly with rage. I pressed her shoulder, my voice light as wind but sharp as a knife. Ferric oxide, or what else is it called? Iron, a discarded waste product just like you, a redundant item. UB*TCH, how dare you insult me? Song Z shrieked as if going insane. I didn't bother to pay attention, just quietly turned, took out a mini speaker from my backpack, and turned it to full volume, my voice booming like thunder. Attention everyone, I'm sure you've all realized that Song Z is actually not as talented as her academic record suggests. How could a truly smart student forget the very questions she supposedly answered? I walked step by step towards her, every word clear as if hammering into her heart. In 10th grade, she struggled to even pass the threshold score, so how did she suddenly become the top student in the entire school? It's because Song Z has always copied my exam papers, and I, Song Yuzhe, have been forced to write her name on my papers all this time. A wave of commotion immediately swept across the schoolyard. Song Z went wild. You lunatic, you're making things up. I just misspoke because the questions were too easy and I got confused. I nodded indifferently. All right, then prove it. I pulled 2 printed exam papers from my bag. Let's retake them right here, right now, under the same time and conditions as the real exam. The results, everyone will see for themselves. Song Z's eyes widened as she looked at the papers, then she lowered her voice, speaking only for me to hear. Are you setting me up? You already knew about Mom and Dad helping me with the swap, didn't you? I smiled, my eyes cold. Of course, I know all their dirty tricks behind the scenes. I know every step they've taken. Well, do you dare? I held the papers in front of her, my lips slightly pursed. Song Z indignantly retreated, leaning against the wall, then clutching her head, feigning dizziness. Sorry, I'm not feeling well today. I can't play these childish games with you, sis. Faking illness, are we? I had anticipated this move. Without another word, I turned on the speaker again. Her recent voice, pre-recorded, blasted across the schoolyard like thunder. Song Yuzhe, you've already prepared everything. You deliberately set a trap for me. You've known about Mom and Dad's involvement in the exam swap for a long time, haven't you? Song Z looked as if she'd been struck by lightning, her face drained of all color, and lunged to snatch the speaker. But I didn't let her touch it. I let the speaker play again and again, then one more time. Song Yuzhe, you've already prepared everything. You deliberately set a trap for me. The crowd fell silent. No one said a word, but their eyes spoke volumes. Everything was now perfectly clear. I turned off the speaker, grabbed Song Zi's wrist and pulled her up. "Come on, let's go see the principal. I want you to publicly apologize to me in front of the entire school." "No, you want to ruin me? I'll call Mom and Dad," she thrashed wildly as if insane. "Let go of me, Song Yuja, you be asterisk TCH. I sighed, frowning in exasperation, then unceremoniously slammed her to the ground, grabbing her collar and dragging her across the cement. So noisy. "Don't worry, your parents are almost here. If they don't come, how will they see the next good show?" The principal was a cautious man with professional ethics, always upholding fairness. After I presented all the evidence, he didn't say an unnecessary word, immediately taking up his pen to write a letter of confirmation and declare my innocence. Song Zi stood beside me, her face flushed crimson with rage, unable to control herself, and began to scream and rant wildly. "My parents aren't here yet. Don't be so quick to blame me. They definitely won't let me be wronged." But before she could finish, the office door burst open. Mrs. Song rushed in, her face panicked. Song Zi clung to her as if to a life raft, grabbing her sleeve and wailing, "Mom, you have to side with me." However, Mrs. Song paid no attention to her, instead immediately running to grab my hand, full of urgency. "Come quickly, your father's in critical condition. He was in a car accident on the way here. The doctor said he won't make it without blood in time." I calmly withdrew my hand from hers, my gaze indifferent. "If it's an accident, go find a doctor, not me. I'm not a medical professional." Mrs. Song was practically in tears, sweat pouring down her. "His ABH negative blood type is extremely rare. The hospital can't find a suitable blood source. Only you can save your father." I narrowed my eyes, a mirthless smile on my face. "Oh, then let Song Zi go. Isn't she your and his biological daughter too?" Mrs. Song's face turned pale and she stammered, She's not. She's not our biological daughter." "Oh," I feigned surprise, my tone as casual as if making small talk. "Not biological. Then why does she get 500,000 yuan allowance every month while I only get 1,000? She wears designer clothes while I wear clothes bought from a flea market." I studied so hard to rank first in the entire school, only to have to write her name on my exam papers. "Mrs. Song, if you tell anyone about this, let's see who they think your real daughter is." Her face flushed crimson with shame. She lowered her head, not daring to look at me, then quickly looked up. "Yuzhai, listen to my explanation. From now on, I will treat you fairly, and I'll give you 500,000 yuan each month, as long as you go to the hospital to save your father right now." I curled my lips, saying coldly, "If you want my help, you have to pay a price." I calmly sat down on a chair. "Right now, immediately use the official account of the Song Corporation to announce my and Song Zi's true identities, and simultaneously admit to all previous academic frauds. Furthermore, transfer all shares of the subsidiary company to my name. Otherwise, I invite you to return to the hospital and wait for a miracle to happen." Mrs. Song's face turned chalk-white. You're threatening me?" I sighed. "It's fine if you don't want to, I can't force you." "I agree." With no other choice, she reluctantly nodded in agreement. On that very day, she posted the entire truth on the corporation's official account and signed over all subsidiary company shares to me. Afterward, true to my word, I went to the hospital to give blood to Mr. Song. While he was still in a coma, a storm had already erupted outside. The announcement clarifying identities, posted on social media, immediately created a powerful wave of public opinion. Everyone now knew that Song Zi was merely the nanny's daughter, and I was the true eldest daughter. A flood of classmates came forward to expose Song Zi's shady dealings with me, from slander to abuse of power. In a flash, the image of the school's flower queen that she had painstakingly built completely collapsed. She no longer had the face to go to school, hiding away at home. Subsequently, the police officially summoned Song Zi for exam fraud and impersonating others for personal gain. Mrs. Song was busy caring for her husband in the hospital, no longer bothering with this adopted daughter. It wasn't until a week later that Song Zi was released. The moment she stepped back into the house, her face was gaunt and she gritted her teeth. I won't let you get away with this." I smiled politely. "Oh, really? I'll wait." Sometime later, Lu Huai also sought me out. His face was stern, his tone full of reproach. "I know everything you've been through, but Zi only acted that way because she was afraid of being abandoned. Forgive her. Just say a few kind words publicly, and I won't call off the engagement." I didn't say a word, instead slapping him directly across the face. "Get out. Seeing your face makes me sick." His pride wounded, he silently retreated, never appearing before me again from that day forward. Everything gradually fell into the trajectory I desired. The day I received my acceptance letter to Tsinghua University was also the moment Mr. Song awoke from his surgery. Immediately afterward, he called me to the hospital, his face furious, demanding I write a letter of forgiveness for Song Zi. Song Zi stood to one side, her eyes blazing as if waiting for me to bow in submission. I smiled, pouring him a cup of hot tea. Father, if you still have the energy to pressure me into unreasonable things, perhaps you should worry about your own future. His eyes widened, his voice hoarse. What are you talking about? I casually lifted my teacup. Oh, didn't Mother tell you? I've become the sole owner of all shares in the subsidiary company. You insolent wretch. He was so enraged he nearly fainted again. Mrs. Song frantically rushed to rub his chest, stammering reassurances. That subsidiary company was never important anyway. What does it matter if she has it? Shut up, you've ruined the whole family? I sat silently, listening to them argue, my eyes filled with cold indifference. The truth was, the parent company had long been an empty shell. All real assets were held by the subsidiary, where I now held control. Oh, right, I said slowly, as if suddenly remembering something. I've also sold this villa. The money from the sale, I donated entirely to the poor in the mountain regions, the very place you once disdained. As for you two, I've bought a 2-bedroom apartment in the suburbs for you. The property deed is in the hospital drawer. Mr. Song was stunned, finally unable to hold back a roar. It was all your trap, wasn't it? Even my car accident was arranged by you. I tilted my head, looking at him, my eyes shining brightly. Father, what do you think? Didn't your biological daughter surprise you? With that, I pushed open the door and left, leaving behind Mrs. Song's cries and Mr. Song's roars echoing through the hospital corridor. Immediately afterward, I moved into the new villa I had purchased and carefully placed my university acceptance letter in a drawer. All the events I experienced, I recorded in my phone notes. Having completed everything, I booked a ticket to leave the country, heading for Northern Europe. Every day, my phone continuously displayed updates on the Song family's situation. The corporation had no money to pay hospital bills. Mr. Song was expelled from the company. Song Zi was forced to drop out of school, tried to cling to the Liu family but was driven away by their old patriarch. Mrs. Song now had to do housework every day, living a life completely contrary to her past. All of it no longer had anything to do with me. Song Yuzhai, this is the life I reclaimed for you. One afternoon on a small island in Norway, as I lay sunbathing, the system's voice echoed in my head, and then all sensations gradually faded away. I smiled, closing my eyes, whispering in my heart, Song Yuzhai, I hope you live well with everything I've left for you. As for me, it's time to return and continue my own path.